The incident took place in the autumn of 2021. The police in one of our northeastern states, Assam, carried out a dubious eviction drive in one of the state's small or minor towns. A few Muslim tribals, allegedly from Bangladesh but with Indian ID cards, were the persons being evicted, traumatized by the police. The press is vague about the details. Were the men lying dead or unconscious on the grass? Dead, I believe. Then a photographer, Bijoy Bonia, stepped over them. The photos and videos of the time show him jumping on the men. Now, you won't find these images on the net anymore. I searched, but I couldn't find them. But the memory of his body flying in the air, landing on these supine bodies, has stayed with me. People blew up social media, outrage. The politicians defended the police, of course. Then, to appease the public, the police arrested the photographer. I remember seeing a photo of Bijoy as he was, one man whose face depicted the hatred he felt towards the unfortunate Muslims. He did not express regret for his actions. On the contrary, he seemed proud, and there were enough bigots who rose to his defense. As I write the draft script of this podcast, I always write them out in longhand. I also find myself reflecting on the life and death of Eileen Wuornos. She killed 7 men, no doubt. Maybe she fit the profile of a serial killer. Almost no one is born a serial killer. She had an awful childhood and an awful life. When I watched the documentary, I gained the clear impression that society and the system screwed her. The prosecutor seemingly ignored evidence about her first victim because he wanted a conviction and wanted to build his career. In the documentary, you can see the face of a man who is willing to sacrifice anyone and anything as long as it helps him in his career. Is he not also a killer? When I consider these two cases, and I confess I don't have all the details or perfect knowledge, I can make a few qualified observations, and that's my page turning. Yes, I can make a few qualified personal observations about the Eileen case, and I will base these observations on the documentary I watched. We punished Eileen for what she did, and many people made good money making movies based on her story. What about the grandfather who abused her, the men who raped her, or the smug prosecutor who ignored evidence just so he could get a conviction? These people have faded into oblivion. She has not. There are questions that trouble me, and I don't have an answer for all of them. The first concerns us as humans. We talk much about religion and the word of God. We speak much of our conscience and of our eternal soul. If we believe these statements, why don't we live up to our words? It is clear that those who commit socially sanctioned crimes have no problem in sleeping well at night. How do you live with yourself? Aren't these people killers also? Aren't they murderers also? Moving away from such existential concerns for which none of us will have an answer, maybe I should ask questions about how we do our business. If you, as a creative professional, for instance, allow prejudice and spite to cloud your work, will your work be tainted with hatred? Will you be able to portray places, incidents, people with sympathy, with respect, and with neutrality? If Bijay Bonia can jump on the corpse of a Muslim man because they are Muslim, will he ever photograph a Muslim person properly? Or will he always portray a Muslim as a person as the caricature of evil? Bijay Bonia's photography may have been technically excellent, but photography, writing, and other creative endeavors go beyond technical excellence. While all of us are a bunch of emotions, prejudices, attitudes, and craziness, we can try, I believe, Make an effort to combat these inner demons. We can try to balance our inner demons and our inner angels. Maybe they can sign a truce. The first step will be to acknowledge the fact that demons and angels struggle with each other inside our souls, our minds, our hearts. Can we balance them? Can we ask them to sign a truce? Maybe we will allow the demons to emerge once in a while. Maybe we'll allow the angels to emerge once in a while. When we struggle with ourselves, these struggles sometimes find their expression in the work that we do. And when we actually are honest, I believe, with ourselves, when we portray something of ourselves in the work that we do, when we portray some of the struggles that we face in the work that we do, then our work starts to transcend mere technical excellence. And that's when you start to create work that is potentially great and not just bland work. But in the meanwhile, try to be a better human. Try not to jump on a corpse. Don't jump on a corpse. Honestly, be a human being. Treat others with respect and acknowledge the fact that you will have your own struggles, depict those struggles, and produce great work. So, goodbye for now. Rajiv Chopra from the Dusty Mike Chronicles saying goodbye till next time. And I will end with my little advertising pitch. Join the conversation, leave a comment, subscribe to Tramping the Dusty Roads and the podcast, and spread the word. See you next time. Ciao.